I was looking for like a digital way to solve a problem in the music business. And the first thing that I came up with was to create a Spotify playlist servicing business. And I was going to be friends with the top 20 playlisters on Spotify who were independent. And then on the other side, I'd have the music industry relationships. And when the new music came out, I'd be able to go to them and say, hey, you need to be on top of this, whatever, stand in between, service them for a fee, and that would be the business. Tried really hard to get that off the ground, but it just wouldn't, because in 2014, Spotify was really young. There was like 1 million paid subscribers in the US. They weren't giving tools to anybody to grow a big playlist. So I had to go back and produce my live events. I had the good fortune to produce the 6-year anniversary party for VaynerMedia.
Okay.
Where they wanted us to produce a music festival on the Williamsburg waterfront for like 600 employees. So that led to being in the proximity of GaryVee in 2015 for like several months leading up. And he, who I was a fan of already, he wouldn't stop talking about Musical.ly, the app. And here I am, I'm trying to solve a problem in the music business. And here's a guy who's, known for solving problems, known for knowing what's next, and he won't shut up about Musical.ly. I better go figure this out. But I'm 33 at the time or whatever, 34. And I just fought it all throughout 2015. I was hoping it was going to go away. But then 10 million installs became 20, became 30, became 40. And by the December this time, literally 5 years ago, I was like, all right, after the holidays, I'm going to dive into this thing and force myself to figure it out. And I did, and I struggled. But then after this big event that I had on my live events business in March, I had this light bulb moment where I was like, holy smokes, these 15-year-old girls are the playlisters that I wanted to build that agency around.
Wow.
They're just not, they don't actually have playlists on Spotify, but they have insane reach and distribution on Musical.ly. And they were making their lip syncs to Cheap Sia, Cheap Thrills, and Jason Derulo songs, and Drake One Dance was big. And they were getting 600,000 engagements per post that you could see, let alone the numbers of views that you couldn't see at the time. So I hired a team in the Philippines to scrape the app of all the data and deliver me the social graphs of everybody above 100,000 followers. They call them fans. And then I went hand to hand, and I was like, look, if I brought you new music to engage with as part of campaigns, would you be interested? But the resounding response was yes. And then I went to the music industry relationships, which were largely agents and managers at the time, because remember, I was just meeting people by promoting events. And they were like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but sounds like you do. So let's do it. So then I branded it, the company that it is today, Muser. Ran my first campaign in May 2016. Musical.ly blew up, became TikTok, all the while through some thought leadership blogging that I had been doing at the behest or at the recommendation of GaryVee. I became, well revered within the marketing meetings in the digital, marketing side of the business as the guy who can help you understand this, the guy who can help lead you and craft the marketing campaign for you. And as we sit here today, it's very much so the dominant marketing strategy in the business, particularly during quarantine times, is to, have a TikTok marketing plan and be able to execute it. And our services have been have never been in higher demand as a result of that. And largely, although that's how I was led to you, a couple of years ago when we became friends.